Air Assault. Hello, friends, and welcome to Shiro Coffee Chat. We hope you've had a great week, and thank you for joining us today. We've got a full cup ahead, so grab your Shiro coffee, because we're taking a spin around the Shiro resource table. Plus, we've got your chat, tip, and guest of the week. Let's give a big shout out to our host, Melissa Farmer Hill, Army combat veteran, host of Shiro Coffee Chat, and founder of the Shiro Coffee Club, where we keep the world caffeinated and women veterans celebrated. And now, reporting for duty and ready to lead the conversation, Melissa Farmer Hill.
Aerosol! Good morning, friends, and welcome to the Shiro Coffee Chat, where we inform, reflect, and broaden perspective for veterans and those who support us. You won't believe this. This is crazy. For the past 13 minutes, I've been hosting a show without a live audience. Things happen, but we adjust, we adapt, and we overcome. Yes, I just want to say thank you for joining me today. I hope your weekend was great so far. We are about 2 weeks into the new year. So how are you adjusting? How are you fitting into it? At any rate, I still want you to just be grateful, stay encouraged, and continue to do your best. That's all that anyone can ask, right? I just want to say thank you for joining me. And we've got our Shiro coffee in our cup, in our Shiro coffee cup, and you can get them both. You can get Shiro coffee and the mug at shirocoffee.com, and we are ready to get into it. Again, I'm 13 minutes behind, but I'm glad you're still rocking with me. And today, yes, I am proudly wearing the United States Navy tee. Yes, the Navy was founded on October 13th, 1775. That's even before they became a nation, you know, the spirit of 1776. And the Navy was pivotal and crucial to the United States independence. They had to get control over the seas, you know, during the American Revolution. They had to try to break away from British control, and definitely trying to protect this young country at that time in the 1700s that we called the United States. So they are crucial to everything we do. And then to this day, recently, you know, they have to this day, they still have to secure our trade routes. They have to secure international waters. They've got a big mission. They have to maintain stability in certain regions, you know, that impact the world economy. And just recently, I don't know if you've heard about it, but 2 Navy destroyers tracked a Russian flag oil tanker in the Atlantic that was moving oil illegally. And guess what? They tracked and they seized that ship. So the Navy, it still continues in 2026 to do absolutely amazing things to keep our country and this world moving forward. The Navy has about 400,000 active duty and reserve sailors, and every sailor is sea ready. So that means every sailor usually knows how to swim. Now, if you are thinking about joining the Navy, do yourself a favor, just learn how to swim. Take a few classes. If you don't know how to swim and you'd really love to be a part of the Navy. I'm not sure if they teach you, because I went to Army basic training and not Navy. But even right here in Illinois, about 50 minutes north of Chicago, is Great Lakes Naval Base. Have you ever heard of that? Great Lakes Naval Base? Well, that's where the Navy trains all of its sailors. And I think it's the only boot camp for enlisted sailors. And that's the Navy for you. Disciplined, patient, trusted, and they have to handle high stakes situations even before we know about it. So go Navy. Yes, go Navy. And I think these same qualities should be a part of our next discussion at the Shiro resource table. Now, you know, at Shiro Coffee Chat, that life is a journey, and that journey is not always easy, right? That's why we have to keep our heads on a swivel. When it comes to helping our veterans and their families, we have over 16 million veterans out there, and none of us has all of the answers. That's one of the reasons why I started the Shiro Coffee Chat, because I believe together we can find solutions. The Shiro resource table is all about that, sharing information, sharing resources, sharing programs, because I believe when one of us wins, we all win. Now, today I'm going to talk about something you may not know about, but did you know that many veterans still feel challenged because they don't feel empowered to speak up about their health care? Are you afraid? Are you one of the people who are afraid to speak up about your health care? If so, then I'm talking to you. And today I just really want to touch base on advocating for your own health. So first, I need you to know this: advocating for your health is participating in your own care, right? You're not complaining. It's not a problem and it's not difficult. It's just you being engaged in your own well-being. You are responsible for that, right? And then second, don't be afraid to ask for what you need. I need you to speak up. Veterans should feel empowered to ask for a different provider. You know, if that relationship isn't working, ask about community care. If there's long wait times for an appointment at the VA, you can ask for a second opinion when something doesn't feel right. And care coordination, you've got that. When you with multiple clinics that are involved, you can ask for care coordination. And women, you especially should absolutely be asking about women specific care that reflects your needs. I was one of those people. I was one of the people that just, whatever the doctor told me, okay, he's the doctor, she's the doctor, and I'd go. But then I start to find out different things about my health that could be better if only I spoke out. And that's what I started to do. And now I'm in a better position for it. And I think one of the most underused tools in the VA system is patient advocacy. So every medical center, every clinic has patient advocates. They basically work inside the Veterans Health Administration, and their job is simply to help resolve concerns about veterans care. They exist to try to improve, whether it's communication problem or a coordination problem or a clarity problem. That's why they exist. Even if you just feel stuck or unheard, that's why they exist. And then you can take it a level above the patient advocacy. So if you don't feel like patient advocate, you've gone to your doctor, you're not getting any type of recourse, you've gone to your patient advocate, and that you're still not getting any answers. You can always contact your congressman or your senator. Every member has a constituent services team, and they can elevate things at the VA on your behalf. They can request information or timelines to just kind of help escalate your issue and just support you at a different level. All right. And they call this stuff casework, and it just helps veterans navigate the federal systems, including VA healthcare. And you don't need a crisis. You don't have to be on like I said, if you've escalated things to the highest level and you're still not getting any resolve, then I would say just go see them. But more importantly, I just need you to start asking for what you think you need at your appointments, and the doctor can tell you or explain to you, maybe you do, maybe you don't, or let's just see, even like I said, even if you're not sure, just ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. So we all deserve good care, and we all need good care. It is one of the benefits that we have for being a veteran. So don't stop at the first answer or the first prescription the doctor gives you if you believe that something else can be done. So I just want to encourage you to keep advocating for yourself. It is just so important. And we're going to jump right into, because I'm already behind. We are going to jump right into what matters this week. And we have a couple of things. What matters this week? The first thing is the U.S. Withdrawing from international organizations. The U.S., they definitely made that announcement that it will withdraw from dozens of global organizations, really ones that are tied to the United Nations, climate change policy, labor, migration. And I think this matters because when the United States steps back from international cooperation, it changes how the world works with us, right? And that can affect, agreements, shape energy costs, trade talks, and what we pay at the grocery store. So basically, I want to know what you think about that. Do you think that this approach, withdrawing from these organizations, strengthens the United States, strengthens our independence, or do you think it reduces our influence on issues that eventually affect us all? Okay, so that's just something to think about. Iran's internet blackout. They've got protests, so Iran has cut off a large portion. They're in a blackout. Phone access, internet access inside the country. They're protesting. They're protesting because of the economy. They're protesting because of living conditions. And why this matters is because that impacts global energy, right? If instability can disrupt the oil supply, right? And now you've gone from $3 a gallon of gas to $8 a gallon of gas. And that is true in some countries already. International security alliances, and like humanitarian and refugee flow is also important. But to me, most important is we may be going over there. Who knows? Israel is already on alert. As you know, we are definitely in a partnership with them. So we will have to see. So just stay tuned to that. And then the last thing I want to talk about are the protests across the U.S. after the ICE shooting this week. Very sad story. This week, thousands of people there in the streets of Minneapolis, and something happened over in Oregon too, I do believe. And they're protesting, and it's happening probably all over the nation, about federal immigration enforcement actions, including the fatal shooting of Renee Good. And it definitely sparked a national outrage. So people are taking to the streets, not just over what happened to her, but over the bigger question about the use of force or immigration enforcement and accountability. Right now, there is a lot of debate going on. When I say a lot of debate, there's a lot of debate going on. And I just like to know, if you saw the video of the incident, did it change how you see the situation? Right? So how should we be thinking? So what should we be thinking about? What happens globally doesn't stay globally, right? It shows up right here at our gas pumps, at our, deliveries, at our grocery stores. And sometimes it shows up in ways we don't expect. That could be a trickle down, or now you have higher taxes. I mean, it's wild. Another thing, instability, right? Instability abroad, like we talked about, like in Iran, can hit close to home. And again, it's higher prices or delayed goods, whatever that is. And at home, with the protests and the ICE agent activities, how we talk through those tough issues like policy and law enforcement, and it either can pull us together or further apart. We definitely are polarized right now, but rebuilding trust. So, none of this is meant to frighten you. I just wanted to just point out some things that happened this week that maybe you should be thinking about, or maybe would spark your interest. And these events are all happening simultaneously, right? And they all pull on the same thread, and that same thread to me is how we relate to each other, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's your community, whether it's your city, state, country, and on and on and on. You know how it goes. Basically, how we relate to each other, and take a larger look at the world. And then when you look at everything happening in the world, I want to know what concerns you the most about how it could impact everyday life in America. How do you think everything that's happening in the world is going to impact everyday life in America? And that's really all I got this week for information that matters. All right, let's move right into our tip of the week. All right. So if you've been diagnosed like I have with chronic inflammation, I don't want you to ignore it, and don't panic either, right? Chronic inflammation it's not just about pain. It shows up as, for me, it was itchiness, brain fog, joint stiffness, skin issues, headache, or feeling just run down more often than you should. One of the most important things you can do is just pay attention to the patterns. What are you eating? Your diet, what I found out, has a big impact on inflammation, what you're putting into your body and what your body has to process, and how your body responds to that. So just start small. Notice what foods make the symptoms worse. I noticed that if I eat certain foods or drink certain drinks, that is kind of what triggers it. You can do that. You can make sure you're getting your sleep and hydration. I wasn't doing that properly. And then what you want to do is just build into and build something that supports your body. Yep. Build something that supports your body. Don't try to fix it all in one day, because you didn't get the chronic inflammation trying, in one day. It's a buildup over time, over the things you eat, the things you drink, all of that. So, and if you need to talk to your provider, because you might not even know you have it, but talk to your provider, and don't forget, ask questions, right? Ask questions. Inflammation is something that you can definitely manage. Sometimes you might need medications to help manage that, but it's important of knowing how your body is responding. And a lot of people are living with chronic inflammation, and they don't even know that they're living with chronic inflammation. Yours truly. And so we definitely have, in 2026, definitely have to watch out for that and take care of our bodies and do the right things by our bodies. And that is our tip of the week. And now we get into my favorite part of the show. And by now, you should know what my favorite part of the show is, right? It is our guest of the week. Yes, our guest of the week. And I am really honored to introduce our guest today, Jill Henry. Jill is a retired United States Army Lieutenant Colonel. Who served our country for 20 years in the Army Nurse Corps from 1973 to 1993. That deserves another salute, because hers are the shoulders that I stand on during my 20-year career. She is a highly trained nurse, and of course, I'm going to get this. No, I'm not. She is a highly trained nurse and an anesthetist. She'll definitely correct me on the word when she comes on. Anesthetist. and she served in assignments all across the country from Washington, D.C. to Hawaii. She was deployed to Saudi Arabia during Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm with the 15th Evacuation Hospital. Jill retired at the rank of lieutenant colonel, which speaks volumes about her leadership and service, because it takes a lot of that to move through the ranks. And then at that time, man, I'm sure it was even more challenging. But her impact did not stop when she took off the uniform, you guys. In 2017, Jill became an Illinois ambassador for the Military Women's Memorial at Arlington National Cemetery, where she works to make sure women veterans are seen, remembered, and their service is officially recorded. That is so important. She was also one of the organizing founders of Operation Her Story. Now, that was the first all-female veterans flight from Illinois to Washington, D.C. Jill continues to serve in her community through the VFW and the American Legion, where she's part of the Honor Guard flag folding team. She was named the Legionnaire of the Year for 2021 through 2022, and she is currently serves as the finance officer for her American Legion Post 635. Shout out to American Legion Post 635 in Normal, Illinois. And in 2023 was nominated as one of Central Illinois' remarkable women. Most recently, Jill was named one of the 25 Illinois women veteran leaders of 2025 by the Department of Veterans Affairs and the VA Women's Health Department. Jill's life, her life, reflects a deep commitment to service, past, present, and ongoing, you guys. And I am truly honored to welcome her once again to the Shiro Coffee Chat today. There she is. Let's give her another applause, you guys.
You're so funny.
I try to be. Humor is one of the things that, makes life bearable sometimes, especially when we start 13 minutes late. No one knows we're here. And I want to thank you just for staying with me through all of that and getting this show on the road, because it's so important. First, I just want to give you accolades. 20 years of service as a nurse.
Anesthetist. There you go.
Anesthetist?
Anesthetist, yes.
Yes, anesthetist. I just want to say, and that deals with anesthesia, correct?
Yes, actually, it's a certified registered nurse anesthetist. So CRNA is my credentials. Retired, of course.
Right. Just going through that 20 years of service, and you're still doing it. You're still making moves and making great things happening and changing the lives of veterans. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Jill. I can't say thank you enough, but you are, if no one ever gave you your flowers, let me just tell you, you are an incredible human being. You are definitely a tribute to the fabric of this country with what you do. So I just want to say thank you.
Well, thank you for that. After I retired and got out of the military, I went several years, and then I said, I kind of want to get back to my military roots. I was in the civilian world for a long time, and then I was like, I kind of like the military, peeps and
right.
Military family. And I became the ambassador to the Women's Memorial, joined the VFW, and joined the American Legion all in the same year. So suddenly I got back to my military peeps really fast.
You know what? And it's such, I love your story because it's similar to mine, but in that when I left the military, I didn't want anything to do with it. I didn't want to even identify as a person
for a long time.
And active duty for 20 years too. I threw away all my uniforms. I was done. And then what I didn't plan for was the void in my life that I would have. And so that was a whole mental health journey. But when I came, when I start healing and things like that, I'm like, I want to get back, just like you. I want to get back into, supporting, my veterans, being a part of all of that. And so I first joined National Women's Veterans United here in Chicago, NWVU. I joined them, but where I really start participating and supporting and seeing something different was when I joined my VFW here in Richton Park, and being a part of the veteran benefits team, being a part of that, when they can come in and, apply for their benefits, and listening to the stories of women veterans and saying, hey, we're not telling our story. But at that time, Jill, I didn't know about the Women's Memorial. I didn't even know. I was like, we need to share more of the things. We are incredible.
Typical story. Most women don't know about the memorial that was built for them.
Right. So tell us what is the Women's Memorial? Tell us what it's about.
Yeah, well, it's actually almost we're about 28 years old. I mean, I get the questions a lot of, oh, when's it going to be built? Where is it going to be built? It's like, well, it's built at the entrance to Arlington National Cemetery. I mean, the most sacred ground we have, in our country. And we're about 28 years old. Like I said, I'm a charter member. I registered in 97 when it was dedicated. But it's a 33,000 square foot building. It's really a museum that tells the story and the history of women who have served since the American Revolution, which is an important story, and who are continuing to serve. And it's a one-of-a-kind tribute to us. And this is what I have to impart upon women veterans, is that, and active duty even, is that their story matters. And this is a place to document their service, their history, and what they have done and are doing is important. I think history knows pretty much what men have done, but history is not as familiar with what women have done. So this is where we document what we have done, and your legacy will be there forever, long after you're gone.
I absolutely love it. And Jill, that's one of the reasons why I started the Shiro Coffee Club, is because these stories weren't being told. And I don't know if you know this, but I did. And not knowing like your life is a long thread. In 2008, I published a book called Army Strong Women. And the reason why I published that book was because I would have young girls walking up to me asking me, what's the Army like? So I just did a vignette of women who were currently serving, why they joined, what made them join, and a few, if they could give a few tips to join, what would that actually that experience look like? Because even back then, now that I think about it, I wanted young girls to be able to identify so that they can serve. I absolutely loved my 20 years of active duty service, good, bad, ugly, and different. I absolutely loved it. But then I went through another thing and thought, oh no, it's not important. But the Women's Veteran Memorial makes it so important. And that's like Shiro Coffee Club tells of just maybe an experience that she had, but what you do is shine a light on your entire career. And absolutely. I absolutely love that. It's, it's forever. It's your legacy. I love the fact that you convinced me.
I did.
Yeah. And I did it that night, Jill. That night you told me.
I remember.
Conversation. And to just know now that I can go to the DC, to the memorial, and type my name in, and boom, my picture will show up. My history of my military career will show up. And this is long after I'm gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, when you're at the memorial, it shows up on the big screen, but you can also do that from home. Or if you have a buddy who wants to look you up, or if you want
Mhm.
to look up a buddy, you'll put their name in and see if they've registered. And if they haven't, then you need to encourage them, kind of thing.
Yeah. So what in your opinion, because a lot of women, and I'll tell you, and that's why I know we talked about it, but now that we're having this conversation, a lot of women, it takes some work. You know what I'm saying? It takes some work, but it's not difficult work. And it's actually good work because you can reflect on your career and you can shape your story the way you want to shape it. But what do you see as the biggest obstacle, in getting military women to register?
Yeah, well, kind of what you just said. I mean, the biggest thing, once I educate them about it, they fail to take action, number one. But what I hear mostly are things like, oh, I didn't do that much. Oh, I only served for a couple of years. Oh, what I did wasn't that important. And absolutely, that makes me crazy when I hear that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And I
Yeah.
said, number one, they wouldn't have had a position for you if it was an important job in the military. And it doesn't matter how long you served and whether you served, a year or whether you served 40, you served. And the point
Mhm.
is, you raised as a woman, number one, as a woman, every woman who has served has volunteered.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
has volunteered. And number two, you raised your right hand and to protect and defend the Constitution, just like every man has. And you are part of that 1% of the country that has stepped forward to serve, that protects our nation. So that alone, no matter what you did or how long you served, deserves to be recognized. So
Yeah.
um, that's, I think once they understand that, then it becomes they think it's going to be too time consuming, or they think they don't know how to
Mhm.
write. Well, you don't have
Yeah.
to be a perfect author to write your
Yeah.
story.
Right.
And we've made it easier now. I mean, we have a QR code where it'll take you 2 minutes to register. I tell people, get your name and your basic information in, at least get that in. And most people want to think about their story, which is
Right.
fine because now you can go in and edit, add to it, which is the beauty of it. Originally, you couldn't do that. But now you can
Mhm.
do it from home. You can go back in. You just set up a username and password, just like any other website you're on, and go in and add things. Even if you just bullet point it, if you don't think you can write it, but
Mhm.
and think about what you would like your grandchildren to read about you, or another few generations down the line that you may never meet. You
Right.
know, let them know what you did and or what was important to you, or a funny story that you remember. And because everything you did, everything everybody did is important. And
Yeah.
yeah, so we've made it easier. And I know some people are threatened by the QR code. And otherwise, you go to womensmemorial.org, and right up top, there's a thing that says register, and it takes you through it.
And I have to agree with you. I mean, Shiro Coffee Club is built on storytelling, and it's based on the stories that I heard. And women feel as though, well, I only did this, like you said. They
I know
don't.
makes me
But
crazy.
not to pit sexes, not to put the sexes one against the other. But if a man, they're writing books, and that's one of the reasons
Yeah.
I wrote Army Strong Women, is because I went to the clothing and sales store and I saw all of the books were written by men.
Sure.
All of them. There was nothing about women, but at Shiro Coffee Club, we also believe in what you are doing. We believe that every woman's story matters and every woman's story should be told. She has to feel that way about herself. And
Well,
she has to
exactly.
know that it matters.
And if she doesn't tell her story, then either it'll be lost to history or someone else may write it, and it might
Oh,
be a man. And I really wouldn't want, we know our own stories best.
right.
So we need to do.
I have a cup that says, this is your world, shape it or someone else will.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that speaks to exactly what you're saying right now. If you don't shape your own narrative, if you don't tell your own story, people will just put you out there how they want you to be, how they want you to be seen. But I know that you guys are doing things to change that narrative. And so, what has been done to just encourage women to take action?
Yeah, well, like back in 2017, like I said, they started the ambassador program to start getting the word out. And it was kind of difficult at first because there wasn't any rules or guidelines. We just were sort of making it up as we went. But now in the past couple of years, our president, Phyllis Wilson, has done a little friendly challenge between the states. And she has a program called hashtag Strive for 500. So each state is supposed to try to get at least 500 new registrations per year. And that shouldn't be that difficult because I believe I recently was told we have in the state of Illinois about 49,000 women veterans. So 500 is not that many compared to how many we have. So, but it's number one, it's finding them and then convincing them to register.
Okay.
So we have this little, last year we registered, and again, in Illinois, I'm the only ambassador.
I've got the chart right here. I'm going to just add it to the stage. You can go ahead and continue to talk.
Yeah, you can see there that kind of at the bottom on the left in the green, we got a little gold star.
Yeah.
So, so what we did, it shows in the column in 2024, last year, we got 234 registrations. And this year, we got the little green line because green means that you got at least what you got last year. So you got at least that or more. So once we surpassed that, we turned green. So we were acknowledged for that. Then we try to do the different categories. So like bronze is 300 to 399, silver 400 to 499, gold 500 to 999, and then platinum is 1,000 plus. So by the end of the year, we did finally hit gold. Yay! 526. So that was a big accomplishment, and I have to give a lot of that credit. We ended up, long story, but we ended up partnering with the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs.
And we do have a video on that, but I want to go, and I know you probably won't talk about it, but I got to brag about you on this. All right. So as I understand, each state has ambassadors, correct?
Yeah, most states do. There's still a few that don't.
Most states do. And you are an ambassador, right?
Correct.
How many other ambassadors are there for the great state of Illinois?
Zero. Big fat zero.
Now, you guys, she wasn't going to talk about this. I'm sure she wasn't going to bring it up, but I have to bring it up because she's moved 2024. You had 234 women sign up with their story. 2025, 526 with one ambassador. And one of the things I realized is that, Chicago, we have a high concentration of veterans in this area. However, you're not in Chicago, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm in Bloomington Normal, which is right in the middle of the state.
Right. So Jill, you are in Central Illinois. So again, I definitely need to find this media asset and say thank you, because that is not easy to do. Because don't forget, I did my own story and I know the challenges that I faced. And like you said, it's not just go in and do a quick write-up. There's levels to it, right? And so I just want to thank you and congratulate you for the amazing job you did. And I know you guys are looking for ambassadors as well. I mean, come on. Really? She needs help.
Anytime.
Well, that's because how many women veterans did you say we have in Illinois?
I believe 49,000 women.
49,000. So there's so much more work to do, and we can definitely help Jill out with that. So yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up. The next thing I wanted to talk about the video and the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs that strive for 500. So I'm going to pull up that video now. I'm going to try to.
Yeah, they came on board with us and developed this video, and they did a good job, I thought.
Okay, so let me see if I can find it. I apologize right now, but I did it this morning.
Yeah, as you look for it, I mean, that helped us get the word out, or helped me get the word out. And of course, they have more access to women veterans and at various different places. And so, but again, I think also it's a process. The first time, I doubt very many women register the first time they hear about it. I mean, I always feel like I'm planting seeds. Then they hear about it again, then they hear about it again. And then they're like, oh, maybe this is important. If they don't get it at the first time around. But they developed a video, and I provided them information and some photos and, what the program was about. And they came up with this 1-minute video. So,
okay. Yeah. So let's check it out. Let's see here.
Okay.
I think this is it. Let's go.
The Military Women's Memorial is a one-of-a-kind tribute to America's servicewomen, past and present, and a world-class collection of military women's stories. It's the leading memorial honoring the commitment, contributions, and experiences of all women who served in uniform. This year, the Women's Memorial has initiated a Strive for 500 campaign to register military women veterans from across the nation. Margot Watson, IDVA's Women Veterans Coordinator, has joined the effort to recruit 500 Illinois women veterans to the memorial's registry. Our goal is to preserve the stories of all Illinois women veterans for generations to come. We're calling on all Illinois women service members, active, reserve, National Guard, and veterans to help Illinois make history. Let's show that Illinois women veterans lead the way by registering at womensmemorial.org.
All right, so that was the video. Now, are other states doing the same video or like that? That's an incredible. Do you know Margot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We email all the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've met her too at a couple of events. I think she's an incredible person. So I'm glad you guys are partnering and getting the Strive for 500. But that commercial now, does everyone have a commercial or what's going on with other states? Are you in contact with other states and what they're doing?
We have an ambassador close Facebook group. So we'll share, with what's going on or what we're doing. And actually, they kind of came on board with the program. I think Terry Prince heard about the program when he attended the state directors conference in Washington, D.C. last year. Then I met him in the spring a couple of times, and, things just kind of came together. And then Margot, I was speaking with her. Well, I believe they decided to come on board with this Strive for 500 campaign. So, and then they came to me asking for, information, more about it and photos of the memorial and things like that. And they put together the video on their own. And so then they asked my input and stuff. So they came out with it. I thought they did a great job. So I shared it with my ambassador group, and it kind of gave other people ideas to go to their VAs, our state VAs, and Ohio came out with one as well. And I know somebody else was going to work on one. If they got one, they haven't told us, but so at least 2 states. But as far as I know, Illinois was the first state to come up with that.
Wow! Another congratulations. It's just another congratulations. Now we do have the. I do want to show. So I want to show the QR code because you guys, if you don't know that your service matters, I hope this show has convinced you that your service absolutely matters. And we're going to show the QR code. But before we do that, Jill, anything else you want to tell the audience, anything else you want to say, whatever's on your mind, please share it with us now.
All right. Well, I have two quick things. Number one, I always, being from Illinois, want to give credit to the woman who built our memorial, Brigadier General Wilma Vaught, because she's from Illinois. So we are the only state that can claim her. I mean, she wasn't born in Illinois, but she came here as a small child, and she claims Illinois. One of her many degrees came from the University of Illinois, and we are her state. So I always have to, and she will turn, I believe, 96 this year. She is still with us, but she fought long and hard to get this memorial built for us. And really, when you know more of the history, which is too long to go into now, it's really incredible what women before us have done. So a shout out to her. And then the other thing I like to recite is a pretty famous quote that we have there at the memorial. And it's from an Army nurse from World War II. And she said, "Let the generations know that women in uniform also guaranteed their freedom. That our resolve was just as great as the brave men who stood among us. And with victory, our hearts were just as full and beat just as fast as theirs. That the tears fell just as hard for those we left behind us."
Yes. Yes. Jill, I
never can get through that.
Now I'm almost all right. What I want to say is I still, through that, feel and hear your commitment, your passion, and shout out to Brigadier General, say her name again?
Wilma Vaught.
Wilma Vaught. Shout out to her, because you stand on her shoulders. I stand on your shoulders, and it just keeps going on and on and on. It's like you have a light, a candle, and each generation, we have to keep lighting each other's candle all the way up into the basic trainees in 2026 that will carry it on to the new armed forces space force that's now official, and they have all of their uniforms. This thing will carry on until it doesn't. And I don't see that happening for a long time.
I know. Well, it's funny when you mention Space Force. When I think of back in the Revolutionary War time, it was actually illegal for women to serve.
Absolutely.
Well, they did anyway. But we've gone from it being illegal to we have women commanders in the Space Force.
Right.
So,
that's incredible, because what I think about is, even just my own, not only could women, then Blacks couldn't serve. So so I mean, there's a lot of history, and that's why I'm so proud to be able to serve. And I don't take that for granted like I once did when I first got out, because now as I move into legacy and as I become an elder, I see that stuff is important for the next generation.
Absolutely.
They can't forget about women who served, or women that continue to serve. And you think about it, Jill, the Army, well, I'm speaking Army because I served in the Army. But the Army regulations, what about the first woman that got pregnant while serving?
Yeah.
You had to have rules and regulations. So there was so much work to be done prior to me joining and prior to you joining. And so I'm grateful. It is with a grateful heart that we can even have this conversation and continue to talk about and encourage women to tell their story. My cup is full. I don't have much coffee in here, but my heart cup is just overflowing right now.
Yeah. And a thing I heard earlier too was, women have to stop eating humble pie. Get over the humbleness. Get your story out there. It's important.
It is.
No more humble pie.
No more. No, 2026, we are not eating humble pie. We are here and we are about to tell you who we are. Not only that, we are showing you who we are through our actions and through our commitment and through our passion. Jill.
And through our registration.
That's right. Let me show, I'm going to show, can you stick around? I'm going to show that QR registration code. So if you're watching right now, I want you to get your phone out. You already know the importance of telling your story. You know the importance. So right now we want to make it easier for you to just go and create an account. Like Jill said, just do the basics at first. All right. But make sure in 2026, you complete that story for the Women's Memorial. And if you are in Illinois, you already know. You already know. 49,000 of us, 49,000 women veterans. We've done a great job in the past from 2024 to 2025. Jill has done that alone. Now she's partnered with the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs. And we can do some incredible things. We can do some incredible things. So I'm going to show that QR code. Go get your phone. I'll leave it up for maybe about a minute or so, so you can see. All right, here it is.
Yeah. It only takes a couple of minutes really to do the basics. And if you're slow, it might take you 3 minutes. So it's all good.
Yeah. This is the first step to it, you guys. This is the first step to creating your legacy.
Yeah, you put in your username is your email, and then pick one of your favorite passwords, and then you have your account created. Put in your basic information, your name, and your branch of service and all that. And then at a later time, you can, I tell ladies, grab their DD-214 out of their files.
Yeah.
And that's all, all the specific dates and medals you won and so forth. And then you can fill that in correctly and accurately. And in the meantime, think about, again, what would you like your grandchildren or generations, if you don't have grandkids, generations later, following you, what would you like them to know that you did? So think about it that way. Or some people put in funny things they remember, or, and sometimes it's not, sometimes it's not all pleasant. And so I tell people, put in the good, bad, and the ugly. You can put in anything you want, but just trying to give people ideas.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. All right. So that should be enough time. Let's see what happens here. All right. Well, Jill, we just want to thank you. I think we covered a lot. And I just want to thank you for bearing with me for those first 13 minutes that we weren't even on. I just want to thank those who are tuning. I see the numbers rising now. I want to thank those for tuning in now to go back and watch the beginning, because we shared a lot today. Jill, thank you so much for coming on. You'll definitely be on again, where maybe we'll do a mid-year check and then an end-of-year check, because this is important. It's not only important, vital to you, it's vital and important to what we do at Shiro Coffee Club. We tell those stories too. And so definitely important, your job. We want to support you, because in supporting you, we support ourselves as well. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you for helping me get the word out. And like I say, anybody who would like to help me as an ambassador, get a hold of me, or get a hold of Melissa. She knows how to get a hold of me.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you can get, and like I said, we've got, and I keep driving this point home, 49,000 women veterans in Illinois, you guys. Come on, we're at 500. Let's make it 1,000. Let's make it 10,000. Let's make it 20,000. Let's reach that golden number of 49,000. We can do it. We can do it.
Yeah, we're one of the bigger states. So
yeah. And again, thank you for what you do. And it's been an absolute honor having you on Shiro Coffee Chat.
Well, thank you for having me, and I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. All right, you guys, that was Jill Henry. And there is no convincing you to tell your story if this show didn't convince you today. But I don't want to sound like that, but there was a look at her career, you guys. Look at all that she's done. Look at all that she continues to do in the great state of Illinois. She's doing it all alone. She's getting partners. You can tell in her passion, in her commitment to what she's done. Look at the numbers. The numbers were, hold on, I think I have them here. 234 signees in 2024. Now 526. That takes a lot of work for someone who's not even located in Chicago, where we have a high concentration of women veterans. She is in Central Illinois. So let's support her, you guys. I'm going to put the QR code up again after the show ends, and just tell your story. Your story matters. Your story matters. And that's all I want to say. And so until next week, I want you to be grateful, stay encouraged, do your best, and drink Shiro. Have a good day.
Hey there, thank you so much for hanging out with us on this week's Shiro Coffee Chat. Don't forget, smash that subscribe button so you never miss what's coming next. And hey, make sure your weekday begins with Shiro Coffee, where we keep the world caffeinated and women veterans celebrated. You can visit us at shirocoffee.com. We'll see you next week right here on Shiro Coffee Chat, and have a blessed week.